Stitch Roadies. Thank you for stopping by. I have lots to share with you. Just this and that. Just an update outside. Kind of foggy this morning. We are surprisingly expecting projected snow in about a week and a half. But that's okay. We are all about weather in Oregon. We have it across the board. But today I am just hunkering down in my Stitchy place, enjoying the quiet. I'm going to be having a busy grandson weekend, so I'm taking these moments right now just to catch up and reorganize. I had to do some busy work on the other side of the mountain, so made a quick trip over and back. And now I am back home for a bit. Yeah. And I'm going to enjoy every moment. I have been doing lots of contemplating about what I want to do in the new year, even what I want to do this month. One of the things that I have really been delving into is my ADHD. It's the craziest thing, but all of the reading I have been doing and the kind of checking in with life coaches to see what their thoughts are, it's quite interesting to me at this time in my life to be open to the possibilities that, oh, things have always been a little bit different. And I think that's what I would love to share with you, is that we are never, ever too old to find some self-discovery moments. And the big thing for me, I mean, it is huge for me, because a lot of my conversation, as much as I try to push out all the positive, a lot of my self-conversation is negative. I'm constantly judging myself. I am constantly worried about the amount of projects I have. There's all of that conversation going on in my brain. But as I've approached the last half of this year on this path of self-discovery, it's like I don't know, like my fairy godmother tapped me on the head with her wand, and I am free. I am finally free of all that conversation. And what happened when I gave up all that negative conversation was I was getting things done, because I wasn't structuring rules around everything. And that's the thing, is that a lot of people are more comfortable when they have a little structure. For me, structure provides more anxiety. And it was quite interesting this last couple of weeks that without any structure, but where I listened to, I don't know if you'd call it that Tinkerbell in my head, my heart, I don't know what you'd call it, but when I went with that flow, I was making progress. I was getting things done. I was shocking myself. I'm like looking around the beehive going, who the heck is this person? Because without having the negative self-talk, I kind of just went with what I felt like doing. And yes, I would be hyper-focused, and there was no turning back on some of it, but I was like, I would shock myself with the sheer satisfaction of that feeling of accomplishment. And so I am going to, in 2022, have no restraints. Basically no rules. The only rule in my life is finish a Prairie Schooler Santa, start a Prairie Schooler Santa. That's the only rule I have. Otherwise, I am just going to go with what I am excited about, because if I tap into that excitement, I make progress. It's so simple. It's so simple, but I have been fighting. I have had like these two sides fighting with each other constantly. And now I'm in charge. I'm in charge. So we'll see. I'm excited about 2022 because we will see what that brings. I am on the tail end of my Prairie Schooler Santa that I've been working on, and I have a really neat idea about that Prairie Schooler Santa. So when I get that one down, then I'll pick another one to start. It's kind of fun. It's kind of fun to get that going. I also have been working on, let me just show you. Now, you know the triplets. I was lucky enough to have won a giveaway. I rarely enter them, but I won this. I just love these. And Bonnie Sullivan is a real, I'm a real fan of hers. And, oh, I left the chart. Oh well, that's okay. Did I leave the chart? Yes, I did. I left it in the other room. But the triplets, you know, Harry, Henry, and Jack. Now, I finished Harry. I showed you that last time. Aren't they? He's just so cute. And I'm working on Jack. And then next and finally will be Henry. Once I have all three of them done, I have a frame that has 3 openings in one frame, and I'm going to frame them, and then they'll be ready to well, I could actually, well, I don't know if I'll have Henry done in January, but for sure I'll have them ready for next year. I could not avoid stitching, not that I'd want to avoid, stitching on Emily's Bliss. And this is an exclusive with Acorns and Threads. It's a beautiful chart on nice cardstock, you know, and the instructions, the instructions on how to make that drum. You could just make it you could frame it or do whatever you wanted, but it came with, the kit came with all the accoutrements for the drum, and I am going to be making the drum. I chose, when you order this chart, you get a choice of fabrics, and I chose an Aida, and but I chose silk thread. I've never actually stitched with silk thread. I have some projects kitted up with silk thread, but I've never actually stitched with it. Oh. It's like I want every project to be with silk thread. It feels almost buttery. Yeah, it feels almost buttery. And So I was going along the top, there you go, doing the top of the drum, and I just couldn't avoid it. I had to drop down and start stitching some of the lettering. And that is what I also have embraced in my stitching, is that one thing that I like to see, I mean, I find comfort when I see other people's whips and works in progress and how they stitch. And some are really methodical and thoughtful and have planned out how they will progress. And I have tried in the past to adhere to some of those tips and rules about how you do it. Like I could never bring myself to start in the center. I just never could. I needed somewhat of an edge. It was a comfort in my stitching to have an edge. But once I get some edge going, then I'm like all over the board. And rather than say, okay, this is how you should do it, I have embraced how I want to do it. Yeah. And I was just going across the border there, and that crimson, oh, that crimson silk was to die for. And I just had to drop down and start some of the lettering in the drum. Then I got real excited. So if there's anything I can share with you, is when it comes to stitching, we learn from each other. There's no two ways about it. I mean, part of why we watch FlossTube is not only for the entertainment, but to learn from each other. But the bottom line is do what works for you, and do not feel ashamed or angry with yourself because you can't quite do it by the way the instructions say, if you know what I mean. I just can't get over that. You know, when you get the kit, you get these thread drops and this beautiful, oh, beautiful thread, and then the thread ring. It's absolutely gorgeous. So I'm really enjoying stitching on this project just because the silks feel so awesome. They feel so awesome. I have, be sure you check at the end. I'll have G insert a flyer at the end with the winner of that Fat Quarter Shop floss organizer, and it will be sent directly to you. So please send the winner. We'll send an email to the email address that I have in the drop-down box, letting me know your email address, because it's the email address that I will give to the Fat Quarter Shop, who will then contact you and mail it directly to you. So stay tuned at the end. What else have I got going? Okay, I have had an amazing amount of Stitchy kindness. What can I say? I am grateful. It is so kind. There's no, you do not have to do this. I love that I have a mailbox at Acorns and Threads, because when I go in, I not only get the things that I am there shopping for, but I get happy mail, which is, I'm blushing a little bit. But I did receive some amazing happy mail this week. I do not know who this is from, but I'm grateful. Thank you so much. Janine and I, Janine is the owner of Acorns and Threads, we opened this package and then we kind of looked for who it was from, and nowhere on the packaging or inside the package did it say who it was from. So my little Stitchy angel, thank you so much. It is a dimensions kit, and it is a stamped cross stitch, and it came with the hoop and all the floss you need. And look at that. Home is where the heart is. That is so, so pretty. It is so pretty. And absolutely the truth. Home is where the heart is. When I had to go over the mountain to take care of some busy work that had to be done there, I stopped in at a friend. I was dying to see all her Stitchy stuff, you know. It was sad because at the time she barely had moved to Sisters when I was in the process of moving away, and so it was just one of those things. But we have developed a friendship, not only from having met at cross-stitch retreats. I think the first time I met her was at the Fall Fling with Acorns and Threads. And then, you know, FlossTube, Instagram, but you will know her. And I'll put the links down below for things that I talk about. But on Instagram, she is textilist. Her name is Lori. Oh, to go and visit her in her home was probably like one feels when they go to Disneyland. But when you're a cross-stitcher and a quilter and an antique collector like I am, going to her house was like going to Disneyland for some people. I could barely take it all in. Not only does she by far have the most spectacular view in all of Sisters, I mean panoramic, unbelievable. But it was just fun to see how, you know, she's still, like me, unpacking, moving in. No, I have not found that floss. But interestingly enough, I found a whole pile, about 10 or 15 skeins, obviously for a project because they were not any of the same color, but they kind of looked like they complemented each other. They were in a pocket of my suitcase that I used this weekend. Yeah, you know, that's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. But it was fun to see so far what she had moved in, how she was organizing, what her dreams were. You know, it just makes you, it gives you chills because you just want to run home and figure out the same things, you know, or the things that will work for you. You think, oh, I'll incorporate it here. Oh, I love what she collects there. I want to collect that stuff. Yeah, it's all about it. And she is both a quilter and a cross-stitcher. And she loves Christmas cactuses, which I love. Oh, there's just, you know, yeah, sister from a different mother. But she gave me this, one of her, and I know that she's shown this on Instagram because I was, look at, I'm almost drooling. But she made me this little journal book for my Prairie Schooler Santas. Is that not awesome? So it has a little notebook inside, and I'm going to keep track of my Prairie Schooler Santas in there. So far I've only done 4 or 5 of them, so I'll write those years down. And there are certain ones, there's about 5 that I'm still missing, so I'm on the hunt for those. And it'll be, I mean, look at, it's so adorable. And I don't know how she does this, but it almost feels like a suede of some kind. But, and then stamp. It says Santa Mercantile on the front. So, awesome, awesome, awesome. What else? Okay, well, what can I say? Grammy B sent me a box to Acorns and Threads, and she is so amazing. I mean, it's just such a fun thing, and she's such a generous soul. Thank you so much, so much. Unfortunately, let me just say, it is a challenging postal service. Yes, it is just you know, I mean, when you think, I remember that, you know, no mail was ever delivered on a Sunday, and it seems like our mailman is like running his tail off, or her tail off, constantly going. And I think there are less postal employees, and so the ones that are working have so much more territory to cover. I have no idea. All I know is that in our current environment across the world, mail is a challenge. And Grammy, that cute little, she sent this cute little wooden Christmas wall hanging that had a camper and a tree, a Christmas tree. It was adorable. Arrived in pieces. It just arrived in pieces. So obviously it had been tossed around from your address to my address. I'm so sorry. But the other things came in one piece, and I have to show you. So first of all, she included a little mailer. Look at that, with bees on it. So cute, so cute. And then here's one of these little plastic, you know, you put your photo frame or your cross stitch and it holds it. That's going to come in handy. Now, Jan Lynn counted cross stitch. It's a chart, and it is gorgeous. It is gorgeous. Look at that. Oh, so beautiful. And then this one is by Country Cross Stitch. Oh, I just think, I know that it is charted with DMC, and they do use anchor and coats for color, but I'd be so tempted to figure out silks for this, because it is stunning. And that is Oriental Vase, Country Cross Stitch. It is gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. So that'll be a someday challenge. And also a counted cross stitch, Tea Time, Bobby G Designs. I've never seen this. Barbara Smith. But I'm kind of tempted not to stitch it all in one, but to make ornaments out of them. Isn't that cool? I just think it would make really, really sweet ornaments. Well, while I was picking up mail at Acorns and Threads, Janine gave me this adorable needle minder. It warms my heart. I mean, she thought about me and said when this came in the shipment for the shop, she thought I needed to have it. And I did. Is that not beautiful? She has hundreds of gorgeous, gorgeous needle minders at the shop. And that is awesome. That is awesome. So I'm going to be figuring out, and later this month I will be doing a, you know, that thing, a whip parade. Yeah, I'm going to be doing a whip parade. I'm thinking about what I want to start this month because I will have a couple starts. I'll not only have a Christmas stocking start this month, but I want to start a good, you know, meat and potatoes, you know, like a good Christmas cross stitch this month too. So I know that I'm going to have two new starts this month. And then I'll go through in a future episode a whip parade and kind of get, I think it'll reinvigorate me to some projects that you tend to put on the back burner and then you even forget that you have them going. But I have that in my future. I need to show you though the last Stitchy Kindness because I can't get over it. I just can't get over it. So let me just get a little bit organized here. Karen contacted me and told me that she was sending me an advent box. I had no clue what that meant, but and I knew I was going to be out of town on December 1st, but G was here, and so I told him, there's a box coming, there's a box coming. I don't even know what to say, Karen. Thank you so much, because advent box meant that she filled this box with something for me to open each day. You must have known that there is more child in this brain than adult because I nearly squealed when I opened it up. And because there's more child, I have really had to tell myself, don't open them all at once. They're meant like an advent. So she included in this box, something each day until Christmas. And they're in these little different size envelopes, but they're labeled with the day. I tell you, I was so freaking excited, and because I was not here on day one, I got to open 3 of them at the same time, and that was like, I was nearly vibrating. I was vibrating. And so I'm going to show you those first 3, and then I'm going to open 4 today. So day one was these adorable bee scissors. And I'm here to tell you, I cannot get enough scissors. So day 1. Day 2 nearly blew me away. It nearly blew me away because I have never seen anything like this. I didn't know this existed, but I will show you a bit of it. So day 2 is this Korean wedding. And I have to tell you, I have a photograph of G and I dressed just like this wedding attire. I'm going to have to find it and show it to you in a future video. Yes, G and I went to Korea, and somewhere we went to a folk village, and there was a person there who literally dressed you up because, you know, it's like any wedding. There's layers and layers to getting ready. And so we were in wedding attire, so we were dressed up in wedding attire, and then a photograph was taken of the two of us that was just like this. I mean, it's so adorable. But what's really crazy about this is that I'm just going to show you. It's a kit, and it's on Ada, and it comes with all the floss. Yes, it comes with all the floss. And there is, let me just see here. There is a chart. You know, there's actually a regular chart, colored chart. But this is what I have never seen before. And I will just show you a portion of it. Is that the Ada is color stamped. Did you hear me? It's color stamped. So the Ada is actually, this is the actual cloth, is stamped. Now I have to figure out if I'm going to be, and then I read it. I had never seen anything like this, so I read about it, read the instructions, and that once you stitch it, apparently all the thread is color fast, because once you stitch it, you're supposed to soak the whole thing with water, and everything disappears. I've never seen anything like this. It kind of, I have to see how I do with this, because with my eyesight, it kind of is, you know, I almost feel kind of dizzy when I'm looking at it. It's the coolest thing I have ever seen. Well, I can't wait. And I can't wait to show you G and my wedding picture from Korea. Yeah. So that was, I believe, day 2. Yeah, day 1. Day 3. Oh, and the whole package came with this wonderful card from Karen, handmade card. Said, life does not have to be perfect to be wonderful. Absolutely the truth. Absolutely the truth. She said, Merry Christmas, enjoy your Advent box. I'm so enjoying it. So day 3, let's see here. That was day 1, day 2. Day 3 had a piece of fabric that is perfect. Can you see the birds? Perfect for hexies. I love that little bunch of daisies there. So that's going to be go in the hexie box. Let's see, what did I do? Oh, day 4. So I haven't seen day 4, so I'm going to open it up in front of you. Day 4. This is so fun. This is absolutely the funnest. Oh, little package. you know, when I think about all this time that it took her to put this together, it's so absolutely so sweet. Oh my gosh. There's 2 pieces of fabric. There's scraps of Christmas fabric. That would be a fabulous little border fabric. And then there's a 2.5-inch charm back. Be grateful. And I am. I'm so grateful for all of you. I'm so grateful for all of you. So I'm going to put this back inside of bag 4. And then tomorrow will be bag number 5. I think I might have to post on Instagram when I open the bags, so that, you know, those of you who are on Instagram with me can see what the next bags are. But this is so fun. It's so fun. I just had set up the advent calendar with chocolates and everything in it for my grandsons. So now I get to have one too. Yeah, so this week will be a busy one. This next week I have some Stitchy friends coming over for a Stitch Day. It's going to be probably my one and only really Christmas party. And because of how everything is going right now, it probably, you know, I still have to limit the number of people I have in the beehive for the comfort and safety of everyone. But it'll be, you know, all we can do is keep putting one foot in front of the other. That's all we can keep doing. Thinking about next year, I know that I have a retreat scheduled in April, a quilting retreat, and then a cross-stitch retreat scheduled in the fall. But I am so going to do and I hope some of you will join me. I'm going to sign up for the Zoom retreat through Acorns and Threads. I tried to get Janine to tell me who the designer was, but she did tell me that it's not a designer she's had before. So I think that's fun, because then I know it'll be somebody that I haven't been at a retreat before with. So I'm looking forward to that. And you can go on her, on the Acorns and Threads website to sign up for that Zoom retreat, which as soon as I'm done here, I'm going to do, so I get my spot. And that retreat will be, I believe, at the end of January. So I'm going to sign up for that. I don't have a problem with Zoom. I mean, actually, in some ways, I like it, because the introvert in me is more comfortable in that scenario. Plus, I can get up and go to the bathroom without everybody watching me leave the room. And I can have my snacks and my drinks, and yeah. So Zoom is not a problem for me. So I hope you'll join on that day, and we'll get to at least hang out stitching together. That'll be so much fun. Okay, I've been babbling. Love you guys. Number 1 tip of the day is embrace your own heart and brain and know that you are perfect.